Mayor Daley in New York City for a meeting of the U.S. Conference of Mayors had some sharp criticism today for the Bush administration's domestic policies. The mayor chided President Bush for not paying more attention to the nation's cities. Daley said that if the government can afford a massive military buildup in the Middle East, it should also be able to afford more help for such things as low-income housing, health care, public transportation, and education. Meantime, Jane Byrne is taking advantage of the mayor's absence to grab the political spotlight. Eyewitness News confirmed tonight that Byrne is planning a news conference tomorrow where she will officially reveal her plans to run against Daley in next February's primary election.
Stormy Jones, the world's first liver and heart transplant recipient, died unexpectedly this morning. The 13-year-old teenager was flown from her Texas home to Pittsburgh's Children's Hospital last night. She had been experiencing flu-like symptoms for several days. Jones had suffered repeated health problems since her first transplant back in 1984. The Federal Centers for Disease Control is warning everyone, especially children and the elderly, to get their flu shots this month before the flu season begins. Widespread outbreaks of the flu usually don't start until December. Last year, the U.S. experienced its worst flu epidemic in 5 years.
Up next, Andy Avalos says there may be some warmth in the back-to-work forecast.
And still ahead, look what's heading our way from Paris, I should say. We'll show you some unusual fashion statements.
After millions and millions of hours in the air, after 17 years of staying up all night, every night, so that your packages can be delivered overnight to any address in America, Federal Express has become the first service company ever to win the Malcolm Baldrige National Quality Award. It's the highest honor in American business. And just how did we do this? By being absolutely, positively the best in the business.
This is your medical report. It's not so good, but we can work around it.
You lost millions.
This is a tremendous opportunity.
For him to be disabled?
You got insulted. You got to humiliate him. Tell me you're a piece of garbage.
Sometimes you just got to go for it.
Why don't you try knocking me down?
Let's do it. Sylvester Stallone, Rocky 5, rated PG-13.
We expected New York Carpet World's greatest sale ever to be big, but wow, this topped them all. So we're extending it. Yes, continuing this amazing event through Wednesday. Absolutely, unequivocally, the lowest carpet prices you've seen anywhere, anytime. Plus these super money-saving bonuses. Padding free, credit free, no payments till May. Don't wait, don't delay. Hurry to the greatest carpet sale ever, only through Wednesday at New York Carpet World.
U.S. News reports the Honda Accord is the best-selling car in America. Now, isn't it time you set your sights high?
Andy's here with the work week forecast. Hopefully it'll be brisk and sunny. I like that.
You've been peeking again, haven't you?
No, I'm just guessing.
Actually, that's the forecast, brisk and sunny. But warming trend as we get to midweek. We'll take care of that in just a second. It was a two-story forecast today. Lots of clouds as we started the day. Let's go take a look at the satellite picture. Picture tells you a whole lot more than me. As we put the weather in motion over the last 18 hours, you can see the cloud mass that moved over the area for the first, we'll say, two-thirds of the day, brought with it even some rain showers and a few ice pellets earlier this morning, but then it cleared up into the afternoon hours. Turned out to be a pretty decent day. And behind that, you see plenty of clear skies tonight, so that bodes well for the next few days, meaning dry conditions and lots of sunshine, but temperatures will still be quite cold. In fact, tomorrow as you get up to start the day at 7 o'clock, well, what will it look like? The skies will be filled with sunshine, but your bones will be chilled by the cold temperatures, down to 24 degrees inland and right around 34 degrees at the lakefront. Today's high temperature right on the money, a high of 50. Last night's low down to 24. We'll be there again tonight. Last year's high 54. Well, we've cooled off considerably since earlier today. Already down to 34 at O'Hare, Midway 40, the lakefront, the warm spot at 44. Northwest wind still strong enough to give us a wind chill temperature of 23, a steady barometer and humidity at 75%. Well, the latest Midwest satellite picture shows nothing but clear to partly cloudy skies throughout most of the Great Lakes states, and that'll be the forecast throughout tonight. Temperatures are very cool around here, but much colder to the north, 20 degrees in International Falls, and it's as warm as 63 degrees in Oklahoma City, so our mid-30s to low 40s are not too bad. Tomorrow's forecast map still shows that high pressure will be the dominant feature for us. We'll have a mixture of clouds and sunshine throughout the day, although we'll start completely sunny. We'll pop a few clouds into the afternoon. Still some scattered snow showers throughout portions of the Adirondacks. but nothing significant there. Meanwhile, a big mound of warm air back to the west will start to work its way towards us. It'll take a few days to get here, so between now and then, sunshine and cool temperatures before the warmer air in the west gets here. Tomorrow's readings will only be in the cool pool of 40s. Here's your forecast in detail. Tonight's conditions look something like this. Clear to partly cloudy skies, cold temperatures, 24 degrees inland and 34 at the lakefront. Tomorrow for Veterans Day, partly sunny, breezy, a cooler day than today, a high of 45. Then tomorrow night, clear and cold conditions, 22 inland, 32 at the lakefront. Then looking ahead to Tuesday, partly sunny, continued cool, a high of 46. But then the 5-day outlook shows that there's a nice little warming trend ahead. Chance of a shower on Wednesday with a high of 50. Then lots of sunshine for the rest of the week and temperatures about 10 degrees above where they should be.
Sounds pretty good.
Pretty decent for the upcoming week.
Thanks, Andy. When we come back, how to get the best deal on your wheels. Andrew Leckie explains why leasing could beat buying.
I'm Linda Yu. Sometimes you need a little help with your child's growing pains, so I talk to the experts for advice that can help you as your child grows up.
Families Matter, Tuesday at 10.
If you're thinking about getting a new car, you might be better off leasing rather than buying. Financial editor Andrew Leckie is here now to explain why. Tell us.
Car leasing is growing, Jim. It's expected that by 1995, half the cars on the road will be leased. You don't have to pay as much up front. Monthly payments are lower. Yet leases aren't for someone who keeps a car a long time or runs up a lot of miles.
The Supreme Court debate continues. Should you buy this 1991 Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme or lease it?
Deciding whether to lease isn't a federal case. Studies show you'll actually wind up about the same money-wise with a lease versus buying and selling a car in the comparable time period.
Introducing the Steve Foley 24-month Cadillac Drive-Away.
Car companies prefer the quicker turnaround of leased vehicles over long-term loans. For consumers, deductibility of car loans is disappearing. The ad blitz is on.
It's a dramatic increase, particularly since the tax law changed in '86. I think that was a turning point. People lost the tax advantages of being able to write off interest on loans, sales tax.
Brian Farney of Arlington Heights recently leased a car for the first time. He was able to get a fancier car for a lower payment than buying.
I have historically been the kind of a person who bought a car and drove it for 8 to 10 years. I didn't want to be married to a car for that long a period of time. So I wound up with a lease for 3 years, and at the end of that time, I'm free and clear.
No one really knows whether you bought or leased your car, but you should know that you shopped for a good lease just as carefully as you'd shop to buy a car. In his new book, Lease Your Car for Less, local author Richard Kay offers tips.
Go into a dealership as if you were going to purchase the car. Don't disclose that your intention is to lease. Negotiate every point that relates to the purchase of the car.
Leasing a car may not be as easy on your checkbook as you think, unless you lease an Audi.
Kay says the smartest length of lease is the length of the car's warranty. In addition, most leases permit 15,000 miles annually before excess mileage charges click in. You can negotiate excess per mile costs, but remember,
it costs money to break a lease, and it costs a lot of money if you're early into that lease. Early termination is a problem. Early termination fees can be significant, and these are things that you have to consider and things you have to look out for before you sign that lease contract.
At the end of a lease, you generally turn in the car or buy it for a predetermined price. Whether leasing or owning is best for you depends on your preferences, but running all of the numbers is really a must. Jim and Sylvia?
As always, go in prepared, right?
That's right. No, have your guns ready.
Right.
Well, if you decide to lease a car and you do as the experts say and don't ask and don't let them know until the end that you're going to lease it, is that bad for the car dealers? I mean, will they be upset with you that you did it that way, or does it matter?
I don't think they'll be terribly upset. It isn't the point that you want to get the best possible lease deal.
Sure.
They're willing to discuss those figures with you.
As long as they sell the car, right? One way or the other.
Right.
Thanks, Andrew. Sports is coming up. The Bears boast about their victory over the Falcons.
And the Hawks face off with Winnipeg. Brad shows us action next. Forget the temperature outside today. The Bears were hot at Soldier Field.
Yeah, they were. Yeah. So was Lemuel Stinson, wasn't he? Lemuel Stinson lit the fuse that started today's fireworks at Soldier Field, and that helped blow Atlanta right out of the water by making 2 of the Bears' 4 interceptions. The Bears didn't let Neon Dean burn them, and Andre Rison didn't hurt them either. His touchdown came too late to make a difference. Bears winning at 30-24. Now, the game had all the hype of a heavyweight fight. Mike Ditka didn't want it that way, but in the end, he couldn't help getting into the act.
This is a very special day for me because we did win. we won the championship belt buckle.
Richard Dent played like a champion. He had both of the Bears' sacks and recovered a fumble that prevented Atlanta from breaking a 3-3 tie. Neil Anderson broke that tie with 4 minutes left in the half, breaking a Brian Jordan tackle and going 8 yards to make it 10-3. Lemuel Stinson gave the Bears another crack with his first interception of the afternoon and first by the Bears. The Bears went 63 yards on 8 plays. It was 3rd and goal at the 8 when Jim Harbaugh and Wendell Davis worked the fade pattern to perfection, giving the Bears a 17-3 lead at the half.
I can't remember the last time we've ever run that play. I don't know if we've ever run it since I've been here, but we work on it every day, and fortunate enough to hit it. Wendell made a great release and then caught the ball and had to dive for it, and it was a super catch by Wendell.
Davis caught 5 passes for 105 yards, including this 51-yarder that set up the touchdown that gave the Bears a 24-3 lead in the 3rd quarter. Jim Harbaugh passed for 195 yards and ran for 47, which is more than Anderson and Muster got combined.
Obviously, we'd like to throw or run the ball a little bit more than we did today, but, you know, we're going to take what everybody gives us. We're not going to pound our head against a brick wall. We're going to, hey, if they want to give us a pass, they want to stick so many guys and stop the run, we're going to throw the ball on them.
That last run of Harbaugh's put him out of the game with a bruised shoulder, but he says he'll be okay come Sunday. Lemuel Stinson had been predicting almost weekly that he'd get 2 interceptions in a game. Well, it finally happened in the 4th quarter. But it wasn't his teammates who mobbed him. It was the media.
Think you proved something today, Glenn?
I don't know. You tell me. Stinson won the battle. He had 2 interceptions, and he told them that as long as they kept throwing it his way, he was going to pick off 2, and he picked them off.
But it took an interception by Bestie Jackson with a minute and a half left to preserve the victory. Jackson returned it 45 yards for the touchdown, giving the Bears a 30-17 lead. And they held on to win it 30-24.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, no, here he comes. And then it just went open field, so I just took it and ran with it.
At the Coliseum, Don Makowski and the Packers handed the Raiders their first loss in 11 home games. The Magic Man passed 28 yards to Perry Kemp, giving the Packers a 26-16 lead in the 4th quarter. And then the defense took over. Tim Harris sacked Raiders quarterback Jay Schrader twice deep in his own end. And then Jerry Holmes intercepted this pass to set up the Packers' final field goal. The Raiders, with only 168 yards in total offense, still lead the AFC West by 1 game over the Kansas City Chiefs. And at Detroit, the Lions' #1 draft pick, Andre Ware, made his first NFL start against Minnesota, but he had a tough day. He was intercepted twice by Joey Browner. Ware was just 5 of 11 for 48 yards and had 2 passes picked off. The play of the game for the Vikings, they were leading 10-7, 2 minutes left. Al Noga intercepted this Bob Galliano pass, and he took it into the end zone for a 26-yard score. All 3 Minnesota scores came following turnovers. Vikings win at 17-7. Meanwhile, Tampa Bay dropped its 4th in a row, losing to New Orleans. San Francisco beat Dallas tonight to go 9-0, and the Giants also 9-0. They play the 49ers in 3 weeks. Miami won its 6th in a row to remain in a first-place tie with Buffalo at 8-1 in the AFC East. Buffalo having beaten Phoenix, and Jeff George threw a touchdown pass with 2 minutes left as Indianapolis beat New England. Seattle on a last-second touchdown beat Kansas City. More coming up. San Diego won its 3rd straight, dropping Denver to 3-5. Bears at Denver on Sunday, and Washington is at Minnesota tomorrow night here on Channel 7. Well, Kansas City Chiefs linebacker Derek Thomas set an NFL record with 7 sacks against Seattle. This one resulted in a Dave Craig fumble, and that was Dan Saliamua recovering for the Chiefs in a 16-10 lead. Thomas almost got his 8th sack here in the final play, but Craig got away and hit Paul Skansky with a 25-yard touchdown pass. Seattle pulls it out in the final play to win at 17-16, their 2nd victory in 3 weeks over Seattle. Well, at the stadium, the Blackhawks and Winnipeg are tied 3-3 late in the 3rd period. Winnipeg having scored with 5.5 minutes left after the Blackhawks had taken a 3-2 lead on goals by Troy Murray and Dirk Graham. Graham's goal coming short-handed. The Hawks trailed at 1-0 in the 1st period when Trent Yarney passed to Wayne Presley. He shoots, and Murray is there to pick up the loose puck and tie it at 1-1, Murray's 3rd goal of the year. The Jets take the lead back 4 minutes later, though, in the 2nd period. Scott Arneal to Dave McElwain, who fires in the slap shot past Belfour for the go-ahead score, but now it's 3-3. And I believe the 2 teams are just now going to overtime. We'll have more on that coming up on Sports Final. And top-ranked Notre Dame isn't going to play hard to get. The Irish say they will accept a bid to play #2 Colorado in the Orange Bowl if invited, and obviously they will be. And the NCAA has given the Fiesta Bowl permission to move its game to another state, if they so desire, because of the decision of Arizona to reject Martin Luther King's birthday as a state holiday.
Okay, thanks a lot, Brad. Finally tonight, the best of the world has been following the lead of the French fashion houses for decades. Now they can catch up with French chic in a big way. That's because Paris is now covering fuller figures more fashionably. It all started when 4 designers met the challenge posed by a club of full-figured women. The trend caught on across the country and is expected to do the same around the world. They're calling it the new French Revolution. More power to them.
That's Eyewitness News for tonight. Thanks for joining us.
Have a good week. Good night.